17 years ago, Joe Manchester moved to his house south of Birmingham in Worcestershire. Now, the garden was unremarkable, but over the years, he has transformed it into something special. And I think perhaps you could best describe it as a woodland garden, but with a twist.
I love plants. I just can't help myself. It's like a kid in a sweet shop. I love going to the garden shows and find the most unusual plants that people, when you go to a normal garden, you don't find. When we first came here, most of the garden was just trees and different shrubs. So I twisted it, put a different feel on it. This is what I call my hidden garden. What I wanted down here is to look tropical and also woodland as well at the same time, which is very difficult to do, but hopefully I've managed it. Today I'm getting things ready because I open for the NGS, so the garden's got to be in top form. I originally came from a little Caribbean island called Nevis. I originally came to England in 1967. My dad came first. He was a keen gardener, then followed by my mum. I got two other brothers. When we were young little kids, my dad used to stand us aside and says, look, this plant does this does this. And my dad was a keen, he loved dahlias and chrysanthemums. And by the time we was about 10, we knew every little chrysanthemum's name, every little dahlia's name. When my mum died of breast cancer, I thought, well, how can I give something back? Because my mum was always had that beautiful smile on her face. And the only thing I knew was gardening. So I opened a garden for a local hospice to raise money for them. For the Children's Hospital, I did Alice in Wonderland theme. Hence, you could see the clocks up in the tree, the big mushrooms, got little rabbits up the back, things like that. I even got a little wishing chair at the top. So it's an adventure for them to just find different things. And to me, it just makes people, just for half an hour, forget all that they're going through. I will put in the garden, I've got beautiful leaves, I've got the hostas, I've got the ferns, I've got the ligularis, all got loads of different things, and I just love how they match together. I love the Caribbean feel, and I want a bit of sunshine back into the garden. That's why I go for all these different leaf shades. The podophyllums are really weird in a sense. It always reminds me of a frog's back. Just looking at the top of it. Just brilliant. This garden I will call a really high maintenance. Not many people will take this on, but I just love the challenge. I normally work in this garden, call it 7 days a week. I normally put in at least 4 hours every single day. When I put my bananas in the conservatory, it gets attacked by green fly. So what I have to do, first of all, wash all the green fly off. In every spring, I always mulch the ground first because it just gives a shine to the leaves. Well, in this pot, I've got loads of different variety of gingers. After a while, you get a beautiful flower head on here, which normally it's around, I would say, over Christmas time. Before I bring them out here, I normally just snip it off. As you can see, it doesn't die back at all. It just stays the same, and it grows like this. To propagate it, I'll break it off like this, and I'll fit it beautifully into there. Normally, when I put that in, it's got to be the same depth that I've taken out. If it goes in too deep, what will happen is, because of the water, it'll start rising up and rot the bottom of it, and the roots won't take. Most of the plants in this garden are hostas. I just think they're an absolutely wonderful plant. Each one's got different leaf, different texture. Two of my favourite plants in this garden. First one I got there, hosta white feather. Beautiful, beautiful white feather in the spring, and then come the winter, near the winter, it changed to green. The other one I love down the back there is Chinese sunrise. It's got beautiful colour on it, just reminds me of the Caribbean. I normally knock them out, started every year. In here, this pot here, I've got horse compost, well rotted, doesn't even smell. Absolutely beautiful. Now I'll measure for size. Perfect. Now normally I put gravel on the top of it. That does two things. One, it will stop the weeds, And 2, it stops them slugs as well. Now, there's another little trick that I use. I heard this story from a little old lady one time. Now, when I met this lady, she told me about the garlic. Best thing to do, she said, just boil it up, put it in a spray can, put it over the leaves. May not work for some people, but for me it does. As you can see, I've got no problems. All different hostas, not a bite in one. When I sit in this garden, I forget about all my troubles, everything. So it's like I've opened the door, I've come in, and what I've done on the other side stops, and my garden just enlightens me. I just love it, and I love giving something back to people. When I originally set this garden up, I thought if one person smiles when they come for the door, it's worthwhile to me.